Welcome back, Bravehearts. And I know this wasn't planned, but we decided we would do it. I had a lot of people ask me questions yesterday. I couldn't answer the questions yesterday. And seeing that we were doing back-to-back courses, I haven't been able to do the Q&As. And I just wanted to calm it down and answer any questions that were coming in. Are we going to have Zoom up? Can we get Zoom up, please? So I can give everybody the link so that they can come on?
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, but I also want it so I can state it to people as well. So today what I'd really like to do is just get on here and follow up with questions. And also, I've got the other phone, so I'm on Facebook. So I'll also do any questions that come in on Facebook. And then, Gad, you're going to get the Zoom up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Zoom will be up. So those questions from Facebook and from YouTube, I can answer them. So I'm just going to get right into it. Is that okay with everybody? Here we are. Dr. Wolf, have an 88-year-old, overall healthy. I'm 88 years old. But in the last year, it seems her skin rips. Oh, an 88-year-old mother maybe. And her skin rips easily, bruises easily. Her urine smells strong ammonia. What can I do for her? Okay, now, here's the thing I want you to understand, okay? I've created 2 other studios. One will be a product studio. The other one will actually be, I've got every chart from the human body in there. And we're going to, when we get questions like this, I'm actually going to go to charts and I'm going to explain everything step by step, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because people don't do that. Okay, what do health practitioners do? They talk over the heads of everybody, okay? And then medical system uses words that nobody understands, right? Fibromyalgia, which just means pain in your muscles, okay? Polymyalgia, which means pain in many muscles. Arthritis, which means inflammation in your joints. A colitis, which means inflammation in your colon. So let's talk about the heads of all of the majority of the population, make them feel really stupid so that they never feel like they can ever heal themselves or help others to heal themselves in their family or their friends. Yeah, isn't that just great, right? I don't want to ever come off like I'm smarter than anybody else, because we all have genius inside. So when we start actually sharing and training people so that they can heal themselves and help to heal others. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. And I want you to understand something. Somebody who's 88 years old, in the majority of the population, is already decomposing. Now, some people are going to think that my talk is not nice. But how do we stop this stuff? How do we stop somebody from pooping in their pelvis since they were a little child and teach them that 3 good bowel movements a day, eating a whole plant-based diet, drinking structured water, okay, and actually totally honoring and loving themselves is the only way to go. And that the world has given everyone a corruptive health manual so that we would poison ourselves and poison each other. So let's just tell it like it is. Now, if you want to help this 88-year-old woman, which I think is, it doesn't say here, but it might be your mother, okay? Here's the deal. When you start bruising without bumping into anything, that is tissue contamination to the point that the tissues are actually rotting. That's how you get bruises, without bumping into things. Tissue integrity is gone. Do you know how long that person has been constipated? Constipation does not mean she's not going to the washroom. She could be going to the washroom, but I guarantee you that it's full of mucus, or it's hard little rabbit pellets, or it's a big old hard chunk once every 3 to 5 days, okay? Or it's diarrhea because the body's going, get this the heck out of here. What you need to do is get around structured water, because it hydrates the body better than anything else. You can get a structured unit. They're on sale right now, or not. But you got to get her to drink water. And please don't get her to drink bottled water out of a plastic bottle, for gosh sakes, because that's carcinogenic. Okay, so you've got to give her some type of filtered water. Okay, if nothing else. And then you have to make sure it's hot water. When you're dealing with someone at 88 years old, would they be more toxic than someone that's 8 years old? Well, of course. And would the fecal waste and the debris inside of them be older? A lot older. Would it be more sticky? Would it be absorbed right into the tissues? What cleans better, cold water or hot water? Hot water. So we need her to drink lots of hot water. She also needs to be on, if you love this person, get a juicer. Start doing vegetable juicing, mainly carrot juice. Put some apple in it to sweeten it up. Okay? You can put a little bit of beet in it. Try to get them to drink about a liter of that a day. Then try to get them to drink about 16 ounces of celery juice a day. And you can dilute both of these with water. I will give you some other suggestions, but you should definitely have this person on daily cleansing tea. Daily cleansing tea can be taken morning and night. Daily cleansing tea is not a stimulant, not a laxative. It cleans all the detox organs gently and effectively. And if you did that, we would never be in trouble if we would have done that since she was a little girl. So the deal is she's rotting from the bottom up and the inside out. She has tissue contamination, blood contamination, and lymph congestion because of the bowels not working properly, which everybody thinks their bowels work great. So just know that. Everybody does. All right? Because guess what? Who do you poop with? Well, if you pooped with someone that poops right, okay, I have at least 2 to 3 really great poops every day. I don't have to wipe with a ton of toilet paper. And also, I don't have to strain. I sit down and it gently comes out. Okay? It doesn't come out like a ribbon, doesn't come out like rabbit turds, doesn't come out like water, doesn't come out like mush, but it comes out nice and smooth, and it's about 5 to 7 inches long. Okay? So that's the kind of bowel movement that we would like, but that's not the kind of bowel movement that the majority gets. Okay? Let me tell you something. You don't have a dis-ease if you don't have a bowel problem, because you do. They go hand in hand. And understand something. Most natural health practitioners and all medical doctors do not recognize this fact, even if somebody looks like they're 3 to 6 months pregnant and they're not. That's because they're rotting inside and the bacteria are not good bacteria now. They're bad bacteria, and they're giving off gas called endotoxin, which is being absorbed into the bloodstream and into the tissues, and also poo particles are going into the bloodstream that the liver has to cleanse, and then and the colon gets jammed up, so the lymph can't dump properly, so everything gets backed up. Okay? Whenever we do a thermography, we see that most of the population have the worst lymph that you could ever think of. This lady needs to be on, okay, eating foods that are pre-digestible. So let's talk about fruit. Let's talk about maybe steamed vegetables like leafy lettuce, and if you're going to do cauliflower or broccoli, make sure that you cook them enough that they're easy for this person to break down, because her tissue integrity is not going to be there. So you're going to create a lot of gas in her and a lot of discomfort. But the reality is hydration. So let's say that, at 88 years old, we know that she's lost a lot of weight, but she hasn't lost weight. She's lost muscle in this condition. She's losing muscle. So we want to get her on as much amino acids as possible. I would find her a really nice black bean soup. I would try to get her to eat avocado or guacamole with veggie sticks, okay, if her teeth are good. I would get her to do, like I said, organic vegetable juicing. And if you can't get organic vegetables, then soak them in structured water and baking soda. Okay? And that'll really help a lot. But the reality is that we need to get her on high vibrational foods, not tea and toast, not crackers, not pasta. And we definitely are not going to give her any dead animals to eat, because her hydrochloric acid in her stomach is not strong enough to digest the animal products, so they're going to rot inside of her. I hope you're getting this. We're also not going to give her more than 2 foods at a meal. That means we'll give her leafy green salads, and maybe we'll give her leafy green salads, and we'll give her like organic brown rice. What do you think about that? How about this? Let's say we give her black bean soup, and that's all we gave it at the meal because it is a protein, and we don't want to overload her. And we're not going to give her crackers or tortillas to blow her gut up, because let me tell you, in Mexico, there's a lot of great food here, but there's a lot of people that are eating tortillas and cheese, and the tortillas and cheese is actually bringing down the whole Mexican population. That's why they're bloated all the time. Because a tortilla is a carb, starch, and the cheese is a protein, concentrated protein. And if it's made from cow, there's a problem here. But first of all, if you take a protein and a starch together, they neutralize the enzymes, and then you have putrefaction, which means now you have a bowel problem, digestive problem. But the reality is what people don't get is that dairy which is milk from a cow, or it's milk from a cow that's made into cheese, which is a lot worse for cheese, is a lot worse for you than milk. And also, people go, well, what about Greek yogurt? Well, it's still from a cow. And the molecule is 20 times larger in a cow's milk than it is from mother's milk. So we don't even have the ability to break it down. And then there's an actual toxin in it called casein that is a poison to all humans, whether you want to believe it or not. But O-types can digest it better, but they still will suffer from it. And the reality is within 7 to 10 days after, can you turn the air conditioning on? And then shut that door. 7 to 10 days after you stop breastfeeding, you do not make the enzymes to digest animal protein. So the reality is that coconut milk, almond milk, but watch out. A lot of almond milk's contaminated. I'd look for organic coconut milk if I were you, or I'd take my own organic almonds and make my own almond milk. It's not that difficult. Or you can make cashew milk or things of that nature, but then don't do too much of that either. Okay? All right. Now, the other thing is, if she starts clapping and lightly and clapping different parts of her body, you'll see she starts bruising a lot. If you clap and get a clapper, can you do me a favor and go grab me the clapper, please? And yeah, let me just grab some things here. Okay, all right. Anyways, we just got everything resituated because we're opening up our 3 more studios so we can do different video shows here. So my products aren't close to me enough, but they will be next time. I don't know who redid my products, but they must think I have arms that are 4 feet long. So anyways, that's called a clapper. If you clap your body and you bruise easily, it means that you have contaminated blood, contaminated tissue, backed up your lymph, backed up your colon, backed up your kidneys, and your liver's clogged up. How's that make you feel? But then you're going to tell me, no, it's not. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it is, because the majority of the population is in trouble. Very few people are healthy today, what we would call healthy. And that was the name of the whole game. And that's the God's truth. So anyways, I've given you some things to think about. If it was my mother, I'd have her on ionic calcium. It's expensive, but I'd have her on her every 3 or 4 hours, and you guess what you would do? Turn on 120,000 hormonal and chemical things, and you would rebuild her bones and her blood. I kid you not. That's why you have to call in to order it, because the FDA won't let us put it on our store, so you can just purchase it. They can't stop us from selling it because it's non-toxic, and it's also the only calcium product that works in the world. You heard what I said, and I'm willing to be challenged, and you can come on. Can you get Zoom up or not?
Zoom is up.
I don't see anybody. Can you have somebody come over here and please look? Okay. So what's the Zoom link? Can we put that up as well?
The Zoom link is in the description of the video and in the chat and
Okay.
Facebook and YouTube.
Let me know if you have trouble getting on. Okay. Why don't you tell Drake to try to get on Zoom so we make sure it's working? Huh? Okay, admit them then. All right. So if it was my mother, I would have her doing ionic calcium every 3 to 4 hours. I'd have her doing C60 MCT oil every 4 hours. Okay? I'd have her doing infinite iodine, 20 sprays a day in the back of her throat. If she does watch TV or she's on a computer, because people like that, I'd have her put a silk scarf across her neck so that she's protecting her thyroid so she doesn't burn that out. I'd also have her wearing Tesla glasses. These are Tesla glasses if she's going to watch TV or if she's going to be on a computer. because everybody likes toys. Okay? And I would also make sure she's doing the daily cleansing tea, and I'd be putting all to make her bowels start moving and start cleaning out the rest of the organs. And I would also make sure that I put in black gold, 1 level tablespoon, in every blender drink I make her, so that we can restore the good bacteria in her large intestine, which is 75% of her immune system. That's right, your large intestine. You don't have a gut problem, you have a large intestine problem. You don't have a stomach problem, you have a large intestine problem. And we rot out and we poop in our pelvis, and that is 95% of all illnesses. Okay, I would. What else would I have her do? I'd have her doing black diamond in all of her drinking water. Now, if you were to do just these things, which seems like a fair bit, and you did them for about 6 weeks, you'd have a wholly different person on your hands. Remember something. You have to invest time into yourself. You got to invest money into yourself. And my products, I guarantee you, they're the highest frequency nutritionals in the world. My C60 is used by NASA. It's used by the Pentagon. It's used by the military, upper government in Canada. I could keep going if you wanted. Okay? Our infinite iodine is the only pure iodine and the only iodine that is in a pico form in the world. It's non-toxic. Okay? Our iodine disinfects in 15 seconds any viral, bacterial, or fungal. Our iodine helps to disinfect, and anything left over, the iodide goes to the thyroid. But if you have a thyroid problem or a parathyroid problem, you'd want to get the iodide because it goes directly to those organs. Okay? I would also have her taking 1 curcumin cayenne every hour or every 2 hours. Why? Well, curcumin cayenne is the least expensive product you can take to reduce inflammation and increase circulation. There it is. That's what I do for her. And I would also put her on 2 Synonian mineral capsules morning and night. If she was my mother, she'd be back in shape right away. Let me tell you something, okay? She's malnourished. She's dehydrated. She's full of scar tissue, displaced calcium, and crystallization, and that's why she's stiff. And why she can't think properly is the dehydration and the fungal problem and the heavy metals that are in the brain that can be reversed. All of this can be reversed, but you can't play around. Did you ever notice something? 99% of the population, they never get healthy again. They just slow the burn. Okay, they turn the burner down. If you got a 20-foot hole, you get a 20-foot ladder. You don't get a 5-foot ladder. Okay? Dr. Darrow, why do you think so many people come over to America illegally from Mexico if Mexico is so cheap and safe to live? Well, let me tell you something. Everybody sold the grand illusion, the American dream. Okay? Well, I call it the American nightmare, the Canadian nightmare. All right, I'm going to tell you something. I've never felt more freer, never felt more alive. Why? Why wouldn't I want sunshine all the time? And understand something. Okay? Huh. I don't even want to say this, but even the Mexican people don't respect themselves. The reality is they want to make more money. They want a better life. I come down here, okay, and I'm still making the same money I made when I was in Canada. I'm not making pesos. You do understand, don't you, that they're making about $1.50 an hour. Okay? $1.50 an hour. So what do you think when America has got itself into Mexico and they'd like to be like Americans and have all the things that Americans have? And I don't want any of that anymore. I'll do my shows, but I'm not going to be consumed by consuming. And the reality is this, it's all about the illusion. Why does everybody like to move to the city? Because they think they're going to have great opportunity? Because what? I don't want to live in a big city. Most people will do it. Look, people don't do what's good for them. People do what they've been programmed to do. Tell me, is that yes or no? So why do they want to go to Mexico? Because the grass is greener on the other side. But for me right now, I'm sitting here. I've got a nice shirt on, but I've got shorts on. I've got no shoes on. I'm in my bare feet because I like to be grounded. Okay? And the reality is guess what? I'm more welcomed here than I was in Canada or I would be in the United States. And I'm hiring Spanish people wherever I can because they're so beautiful. Oh yeah, there's toxic people anywhere and everywhere in the world, but the reality is this: you can just have your America if you want. You can have your Canada, you can have your Europe, you can have your big cities. You know what? I'm going to take small towns. I'm going to take oceans. I'm going to take blue skies, no chemtrails. I'm going to take beautiful drinking water. I'm going to take my $35,000 juicer. That's how much my juicer is. That's where my money went. And make the best juices in the world with organic fruits and vegetables that I can afford down here easy. The reality is this: I haven't met anybody from the cartel. I haven't heard any cartel stories. And the government has only welcomed us here, and I respect this government. So that's the deal. And guess what? You all live in an illusion. Every one of you. Every one of you live in an illusion. You think you know what love is. You think you know what health is. You think you know your authentic self. You think you know your power. You think you know how to forgive. You think you know how to protect and respect and love yourself. Most people don't. And guess what? So it really doesn't matter where you live if you don't know what unconditional love is. So the first thing I'd work on is not where I live, but getting unconditional love for myself and for everyone else. Because where the mind goes, the body follows. All right? And why are people wanting to get out of Mexico? I just told you, at $1.50 an hour. And they see you driving in the big car. They see you with the big house. They see you, okay, with so much. And guess what? You're complaining more than they do. Most people here, they want more, but they don't complain like Canadians, Americans, and Europeans about how they need more and they need to consume more. They need to make more money. So I don't know. I see a lot of happy people down here, to be honest with you. But they'd like to go home. Wouldn't they like to go over and make $20 an hour? And most of them, when they do that, what do? They send it back home. They send it back home to their families so that they can go to a better school, so that they can live in a better place with better sewage, to have better food. There's your answer.
Someone on Zoom has a question.
What causes, let me get through these first. What causes corns? What causes warts in children? How about liver problems? Okay, liver problems. And yes, a baby could be born with a wart in a corn. That's still liver problems. Remember, where is the baby grown? In the mummy's womb. Where is the womb? Well, most of the time it's in a room with no room. It's in a womb with no room because mummy's usually constipated. Mummy has a low back. Mummy has low back pain. Her back is contracted. Her pelvis is on fire. Her hips are locked because mommy doesn't know that she needs to eat a high vibrational diet, okay, and a clean diet, and she needs to do cleansing prior to getting pregnant and even through her pregnancy. So what happens is that whether it's an infant, a newborn, an infant, or a young child, they take on, believe it or not, they take on the toxins of the mother. So the one big bonus is the biggest filtration for a woman is actually the baby that she births. Okay, the baby takes on a lot of the toxins, but because the baby is new and it's high vibrational, it can detoxify from these things. And that's why we created a course called the Painfree Pregnancy Course. That's why we know how to reverse infertility. That's how we know how to reverse things, because it's all about alignment. It's all about proper detoxification. It's all about whole plant-based foods. It's all about frequency, high vibrational frequency when it comes to the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you eat, the way you think, the way you drink, the way you live. Do you walk around with a slight smile on your face? Are you connected to your lion heart breath? Do you snap your love band, life band every time that you don't want to take something in, so that you will get back into the present moment and own it and focus on only what you want, your dreams, your desires? so that your imagination is working for you and nobody else. That's the bottom line. Wouldn't it be something if the parents had a whole plant-based diet, they detoxified a year before, and they learned how to love themselves unconditionally and each other, and they no longer had to fight about things, no longer had to jockey for position in the relationship, that they were in the relationship to bring each other up, and that was the only goal, to bring up each other's vibration, okay, so that we could create a healthier nation. Why do I have gum infections? Well, because it's not gum disease, it's bum disease. I am 56 years old, happy and healthy. Well, that's great that you're happy and healthy, but guess what? Let me see you do the daily cleansing tea and maybe even do the ultimate coffee enema. And then let me see you take what's called silver bullet gel and squirt that into your mouth and take a couple drops of healthy mouth essential oil and swish that around in your mouth. And guess what? And do that three to 5 times a day. And guess what? You're going to get rid of that gum disease, but it's from the bum disease. Just like when people say, I got to have my teeth cleaned all the time. I don't get teeth cleaning. I don't need teeth cleaning because I don't have bum disease. Now, bum disease is putrefaction in your large intestine. And we all know, if you've been to a farm, a manure pile, if I were to dig in with a fork and flip it over, it gives off a gas. That gas, it'll knock you down on your butt. And when you smell that smell, you're taking in small poo particles. Those poo particles from food that rots in your large intestine, that hot air rises and comes in your mouth. You don't believe me? Then what is it when you roll over to say, honey, I love you, and she says, go brush your teeth first because it smells like somebody pooped in your mouth? What do you think that plaque is? It's not from food you ate yesterday. It's not from food you ate today. It's food you ate weeks ago, months ago, that you didn't cleanse your intestines properly, mainly your large intestine, and you've got putrefaction. And that putrefaction, just like a hot air balloon, is rising up because that's what hot air does. And if you're a dentist, I'd love for you to call in. My number's 855-900-4544, extension 5, if you want to debate that. So at the end of the day, I think the toothbrush is going in the wrong end. What do you think? Okay? All right. Dr. Wolf, you address blood clots in the legs. How do I solve them? Well, first of all, blood clots in the legs, everybody's going to think, that I don't know anything, or I don't know only very little, which may be the case, could be that. And the reality is you don't have blood clots in your legs unless you have pooping in your pelvis. You heard what I said. I can prove it. And I will prove it with my charts when I start doing using the other studio. And here's the deal. The blood clots in the legs are not in your arteries, they're in your veins. And your veins are not pumped so much by your heart, they're pumped by exercise. And if you're pooping in your pelvis and you have a lot of stagnation of waste, it will stagnate in the veins. Okay, so the veins are the larger arteries. But if you've got blood clots in your veins, then that means that the small arterioles and venules, which make up 74% of your circulation, are already shutting down. Did you know that? That your veins and arteries are the main highways, the big highways, and then the little side streets, which there are a lot more side streets than there are highways, they're already being blocked up and shut down, okay? So welcome neuropathy. So guess what you get when you've got varicose veins, when you've got blood clots in your veins or even in your arteries starting? You're going to have neuropathy, which means you're going to have very painful lower legs. And that's because of the scar tissue formation and the displaced calcium from the inflammation, from the infection that is now going in the lower part of your body because gravity eventually pulls it down when your circulation isn't strong. Okay? And that, my friend, is the reality of it. So how are you going to get rid of it? Well, you start clapping your legs. You start using Pain Away essential oil and a little bit of DMSO over the area of those veins. Use DMSO cream, not the gel. It's a little stronger. So use the cream, put a little bit of Pain Away essential oil into that, and rub that on your legs 3 to 5 times a day around the vein area. But first, clap that area first. And the other thing is do the daily cleansing tea to get your bowels moving, and then get black gold and put that in your blender drinks of your smoothies, those berry drinks that you're going to do, hopefully you're going to do. And then also put black gold in your drinking water and drink hot water and drink at least 3 to 4 quarts every day of hot water. Then tell me things aren't coming down. They will be coming down. Just because you've got traffic coming into the city doesn't mean you're not backed up all the way for 100 miles, okay? What can I do about tightness in my chest, wheezing when I breathe? Well, again, get the cork out. Okay, start cleansing your colon. Do the ultimate coffee. Enema, and then go and take a look at clapping your lungs and heart for health. It's in my library, and go and do it and get yourself a clapper, and then clap the lung heart meridian, and then clap your chest with this clapper. That's the first thing. Now, if you live near somewhere that does somebody who does non-surgical, they're going to go in between your ribs, and they're going to open up all that scar tissue, and they're going to open up that circulation. They're going to open up your sternum, okay? And wait till you see how you can breathe. You'll be able to breathe 20 to 25% better. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get off the dairy, the sugar, the flour, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to buy yourself a nebulizer, and you can get it on Amazon, and you're going to start nebulizing infinite iodine. 1 part iodine to 3 parts structured water. If you don't have that, get distilled water. And then you can also nebulize, okay? You take silver bullet liquid, and then you take bright eyes that we put in our eyes. It's the only fall we can put in your eyes in the world, and we make it. And you take 50-50 and you nebulize that. And if you were doing that and you kept that with you in the car, you did it while you're watching TV, you did it whenever you carry it with you wherever you go, and guess what? You're going to clean your lungs out. But understand something, you can't have lung problem unless you have bowel problem. And everybody's going, my gosh, does he not know anything else? He's got to do the bowel thing. Well, guess what? I can't help it if I'm right. I've been doing this for over 40 years. And the first thing we got to do is get the cork out, restore the 85% of our immune system, which is our large intestine. When your bacteria are happy, you're healthy. When they're not happy, they're bad bacteria. They give off the wrong information, and we call it gut-brain disconnection. And that's it, sweetheart. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. Okay? The wheezing, again, well, okay, first of all, you have what you call alveoli. And those are in your lungs, and you're filling up with mucus. Why would you be filling up with mucus in your lungs? Well, you only fill up with mucus when you have inflammation, because the inflammation is actually destroying the protective lining in your lungs. So your body says, I need to make more mucus and coat the alveoli so that we don't keep burning the tissue out, because would you like to have inflammation to the point of cancer, lung cancer? Because that's where you're going to go. So what do you want? Inflammation that can go as far as cancer, because cancer is only the most extreme case of inflammation. That's what it is. So why aren't you cleaning your bowels? Why aren't you doing the hot water? Why aren't you doing the nebulizing? And why aren't you on the perfect day diet? That's what I would ask you. Okay? All right. Nasal polyps. Well, they're like warts, and they grow because the environment is so bad. Okay? And I would be nebulizing again, and I would nebulize the infinite iodine for that. And then I would also take silver gel and put a little bit of maybe on the silver gel, I would put immunity essential oil with silver gel, and I would carry a little bottle of it. It comes in a bigger bottle. It's right here. Oh, okay. It's silver bullet gel. Can somebody come over here and just move these products to where, right here. So just gently, just come over here and just move these products to here, and then bring these other products here to here. Okay. So now this is called silver bullet gel. Okay. And then what I would do is I would take immunity essential oil. Okay, so I'm going to take silver bullet gel and immunity, and I'm going to mix a little bit of that. And I'm going to put that into a little squirt bottle you can get from the dollar store. And then I'm just going to squirt a little drop of that in here, and I'm going to put it on my nose as often as I can. Now, where does the polyps come from? You're not going to want to hear this again. It's coming from your bowels. And if you've got polyps in your nose, you've got polyps in your bowel. Did you hear what I just said? Polyps in your nose, you got polyps in your bowel. And this is called body talk. Every symptom, whether you like it or not, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, it's your body talking to you. And every negative symptom says, why can't you learn to love me? Now, you've never been taught how to love and care for yourself. And also, most people, if they did it for more than 10 minutes a day, they feel like they're being very selfish. Tell me, you haven't been brainwashed. Until you decide that you're going to love and respect and honor that body of yours, then it's going to kick your butt all over the room. So you need to get that. And it's going to continue, and you can just continue to keep explaining and keep complaining to everybody about how your life sucks. And I get it. You've been programmed this way, but the reality is guess what? Until you can love unconditionally yourself, one love, one law, until you buy into that BS thing that I tell everybody to do, which is a belief system, which the world does not do. The world believes in love only in one matter. If I work hard enough, strong enough, and suffer enough for my family, they'll love me enough, and then I'll feel whole. How's that working for you? Well, you've got a big hole right in your heart, don't you? And it can't be filled because guess what? You can't have temporary love. Love's like oxygen. So you better learn how to self-serve on this one. Okay. So the polyps, we talked about them, but that person, just know this, you've got trouble. You've got big trouble down below. How to help with cysts in the breast. Well, let's first decide what is a cyst. That's the first thing. What is a cyst? A cyst is an actual pocket of pus. It's a pocket of bad bacteria. It's a pocket of dead cells. And what's happening is your breasts say, we've got to make pus pockets because our sweetheart here doesn't know how to love her breasts. Okay? And that's the truth. So you cannot have pus problems, which are cysts, in your breasts, unless you have a backed up lymph. So you're backed up under your arms, you're backed up in your groin, and you're backed up with your large intestine and your liver. If you were to do the daily cleansing tea, and you were to do the ultimate coffee enema, you were to do black gold in blender drinks of fresh organic berries with coconut milk, and you were to do just fresh salads, like look at the perfect day diet, the 4 pillars in my library. If you were to do the hot water, if you were to start every time you go for a shower, I want you to take and clap under your armpits for 3 to 5 minutes like this. If you feel under your armpit and it feels like you've got fat under your armpit, nobody has fat under their armpit. You've got congested lymph under your armpit. And guess what? Now, what are the breasts made out of? No, let me think. What are they made out of? Well, mainly fat tissue, okay? Mainly fat tissue, but toned fat tissue for most, for some, I should say. So now, here's the deal. If you were really inflamed and infected in your body wants to make fat to store the inflammation and infection. Yes or no? Come on. That's Health 101. Now, what does your body say about a woman that's exhausted who might have chronic fatigue, which is like almost every woman because she's trying to fix her family with a broken health manual? Okay, so now what does your body go? Hey, wait a minute here. You don't need to make any more fat cells. We've got 2 storage tanks here made out of fat. Let's send the inflammation and infection to the breasts. So guess what? First you get the cysts. This person who said, I've got cysts in her breast, guess what? Next year, she's probably going to have calcium deposits in her breast. And that is the last stage before breast cancer. Because the calcium deposits are calcium that's being actually pulled from the sternum, from the ribs, from the clavicle area to put calcium into her breast to try to bring the pH back up because it's so acidic in her breast tissue from the infection. What infection? Well, you've been backing up your bowels long enough into your liver, and your lymph system dumps into your bowel, your large intestine. But if it can't back up into your large intestine, and guess what? If you're contracted all the time because you're stressed, your lymph doesn't move because it's like molasses already. And if the older you get, the less exercise you do because lymph only moves through exercise. Did you know that? Okay, but it also moves with an avicin. An avicin is 300% stronger than an infrared sauna for moving lymph. Did you know that? Check that one out. Okay, and it's on sale right now, and this is not a sales pitch, so don't think I'm trying to pitch at you. All right, but it does increase the circulation in your arterioles and venules, which is 74% of your circulation, by 67%. And the next thing closest to that is only 34%. So it almost is double with microcirculation in the human body with the avicin. Nobody can beat it. You just put your hand into it. It'll put you into a parasympathetic state within 5 to 7 minutes. Most people will fall asleep while they're doing it. But here's the deal. Get moving. Get drinking hot water. Get your bowels moving. Do the ultimate coffee enema. Listen to me, sweetheart. You're going to have cysts as long as you have what? A backed up colon that's pooping in the pelvis, the infection in the bloodstream. And understand this. Are you ready for this? I bet you that you've got cysts on your ovaries. I will make you a bet that you go and get checked out, you'll find cysts on your ovaries. You usually will have cysts on your ovaries before you'll have them in your breasts. Now let's picture this, okay? You're going to love this one. Did you ever go to the fair? Well, guess what? You know that big hammer that you go and you hit down and it hits down on that thing and then it hits the bell? Well, guess what? The big hammer that hits down is your pelvis getting pooped into and then your breasts going, ah! Okay? And they're picking up the excess infection that cannot be held anymore in the body because let's send it to the two fat storage tanks. Tanks a lot. And moving along here. So the reality is this. Learn how to clap your breasts. That's the deal. Learn how to clap your breasts. Just remember something. A cyst is a block. Displaced calcium is a block. Scar tissue is a block. A tumor is a block. A boil is a block. A pimple is a block. Stiff joints are a block from crystallization. This is all blocks. And the more blocks you have, the less circulation you have. The less circulation you have, the less oxygen gets to the tissue cells. And guess what? If your tissue cells get deprived of oxygen by 35% for more than 3 days, welcome more cancer cells. And then let's get really stressed out, okay? Because the end of the world's coming as we know it. So let's freak out and get really inflamed and dump a whole bunch of adrenaline and histamine and cortisol. And then let's just fry our brains. And then that will dump more chemicals into our body that causes more inflammation. And guess what? Here's the deal I want you to think about. Wherever your weak link is. So what do you think is your weak link? What's going to cause you to be in a cane, a walker, a wheelchair? What's going to cause you to be wearing Depends someday? What's going to cause you to get into the nursing home? What's going to cause you to go to the hospital? Okay, so let's strengthen our weaknesses. Okay, so I don't know how, Daryl. Well, then do your homework. It's in my library. It's free. Get moving. I don't want to. Well, then don't. Just go get treated until you get mistreated. And guess what? I'm not coming to the nursing home or bringing you flowers. So listen to this. So you either take massive personal action, which is the hardest job will ever be to love yourself because you've been desperately seeking love all your life. And everybody's got these tragic love stories called relationships. And the best relationship you'll ever have is with yourself when you finally learn that you don't need approval to love yourself unconditionally. And when you don't take anything personal, I'm going to look after myself, okay? I know that you're used to me just catering to you and suffering through all of this with our relationship, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to start respecting this vehicle that is God-given. And that's it. And understand something, you women out there, you stop helping people when they don't need to be helped. If they can do it for themselves, then let them do it. Whether it's your man, whether it's your family, whether it's anybody, you stop it. Because guess what? I have to listen to all these calls with these women who call up and go, I don't even know what love is. I feel so empty. I'm a shell. Yeah, I know, because you were programmed since a little girl that if you worked hard enough and strong enough and made yourself sick enough, the world was going to bless you with all the love in the world. How's that working for you? Anyways, I feel better about saying that, but whatever. Let me see here. Dawn, just started. Can I drink my black diamond in hot water? No, no, no. It's supposed to be. Okay, so if you bake, which you shouldn't be baking, because you have to be baked in the head to keep baking when you're overweight already and you're sluggish and you've got fibromyalgia. Okay, but if you do bake, put the black gold in there. Put the black gold in your blender drink. From a teaspoon to a tablespoon. Just play around with it. Put the black gold on top of your coffee grounds. If you have perk coffee, just put like a teaspoon of black gold on top. Wait till you see the taste of it, and it'll buffer down the acidity. Put black gold into your soups, okay? And it makes everything taste better. But don't put it into water because it doesn't break down. Black diamond. I could put black diamond in a glass of water, okay, and I don't have to touch it. It will stir itself. It has so much energy. You have to understand our humic fulvic. Anybody want to test me? There was a company called Black Oxygen. They are being sued. They're in Canada. They sold the most humic and fulvic probably in North America. And guess what? They're full of heavy metals, and they lied their pants off. We are the only company in the world with humic fulvic that has no heavy metals, and if you need to see reports, I'll show it to you. And if you want to go see our show, we're the only plant in the world that is actually approved by the government because of our sanitary conditions. Okay, and we're able, and our filtering, our filtering and processing of the product, we do not use chemicals. Did you get what I just said? And we are the only company that I know of like that. So, and our humic fulvic comes from Drumheller, Alberta, which, of course, that's where most of the dinosaurs were found in the world for a reason, because the vegetation was the highest vibrational around Drumheller for them. And when you take this black gold or black diamond, the black diamond is the diamond of humic fulvic. When you take that, you are taking vegetation. Do you know how rich that is? Well, the vibration's still in there. And understand, humic fulvic will leach all the heavy metals out of the body if you do it on a gentle daily basis. It will buffer down the acidity. It will bring your pH back. It'll also dump 60 to 70 micronutrients into your body on a continual basis. I have been taking black gold and infinite iodine and silver bullet solution also for 2 months. We'll start. The daily cleansing tea comes first, and you never stop it. I do daily cleansing tea morning and night, and I'm never going to stop it if I do nothing else. Okay? Go with the flow, baby. You know what happens when the river starts to clog? What happens when the toilet clogs? Okay? What happens when the sewage backs up? Stop it. Okay, that's not. If you don't believe me, go look at a study done by the Royal Society of Medicine. And that's the medical system, and they said 85% minimum of all diseases come from a dysfunctional large intestine. We'll start daily cleansing tea tomorrow. Actually had one, and only psoriasis outbreak in 75 years 3 weeks ago. Please redress your gut. Skin protocol, thanks. My friend got Celsonic for her rectal cancer, and her tumor is growing. What procedure do you recommend? You spoke with her last Friday, but she can't remember what the procedure was called. Okay, first of all, the first thing I'm going to say is this. Rectal cancer is one of the main cancers on the rise right now because people are rotting out. Okay, women are dropping babies more than they've ever dropped them and not being able to hold them because their pelvic girdle, their pelvic floor is rotting out. Okay, people are rotting. I don't know why people don't get it. Between the bad breath, the stinky farts, the bloating of their tummy all the time, the low back pain, the surgeries, the low back surgeries. This is all the low back rotting out because of the large intestine. All the pelvic inflammation, the cysts, the bladder infections, the endometriosis, the fibroids, the inflamed prostate. Okay? I mean, we can keep going here if you want. I mean, but, nobody gets it, right? The human body's amazing. And, whether you believe it or not, I don't care who you are, you can reverse your condition if you took massive personal action in unconditional love for yourself. Anyways, so if I had rectal cancer, I would be putting a CBD suppository in. It's 250 milligrams, and I'd be doing it 3 times a day. And you have to call into my office to order those. Okay, they're not on the website. All right? And the other thing I'd be doing is I would be trying to do a warm water enema, okay? And I would be doing it with warm water, and I would try the ultimate coffee enema and see if it'll get past the tumor. Okay, what else would I be doing? Well, if it was my rectum, I would be also taking a syringe after the CBD. I mean, you've got to really focus on that bowel area, okay? You got to get rid of that tumor. Now, the tumor could be getting bigger because a tumor will get bigger also before it dies. You do understand that, right? Okay? And I don't know how many pulses she had with the Celsonic. I know what we know what to do, but I don't know where she got it or who treated her. And the reality is, if she's not underweight, she needs to be on an advanced water fast yesterday. Did you get that? Yesterday. So what happens when you're on an advanced water fast? That means you can do the black gold, you do the ionic calcium, you can do the infinite iodine. And let me just think here. Ionic calcium, infinite iodine, black gold, ormus, and you can do super cinnamon essential oil, lemon lift essential oil, orange burst essential oil. And then what you want to do is you want to do structured water, and you want it hot, and you want to do at least 3 to 4 quarts a day. You want to make sure you're getting your rest every hour, at least a 5-minute, 10-minute lay down. Remember something, if you do this right, in 6 weeks to 3 months, this thing is gone, or you're going to poop it out. Let me tell you something. If you can get rid of the stress, get into a different environment, and you can do the advanced water fast, if you can do the ultimate coffee enema, if you can do the CBD suppositories, and if you can do the vaginal infusion, but into the rectum, and then also into the vagina. Just think, if you had a tumor in your rectum, what kind of shape is your vagina in? Front door, back door. I mean, it's right here. Rectum, vagina. So you don't think that you've been absorbing toxins into your vagina? What if I were to do the silver bullet, frankincense, the infinite iodine, and the Bright Eyes fulvic drops, and I were to do a vaginal infusion 3 times a day? I did the CBD bullet 3 times a day, and I were to get on the advanced water fast. I don't know what her weight is. And if I couldn't do that, then I would be going on a juice fast. Okay? So, but the advanced water fast will go in and release and create more stem cells. Guess what else creates stem cells? The iodine. What else does? The ionic calcium. And what does the C60 do? Well, you should be on the C60 when you're on the advanced water fast, because it repairs the brain, okay, and it also goes wherever it needs to in the body, the coconut oil C60, and it actually will repair the damage. So those are the things I'd be on. So if you want, you can call me again. But please just go back and write the question. Write what I just said before you call me. And also, she should be doing belly button therapy. Right? Right? Okay. And I know you're not going to like this one, but she should also be using a vibrator. Okay? All right? If she can use a rectal vibrator to get more blood supply in there, how would things work? Oh my God, no, don't create the blood supply, because that'll cause the cancer to grow. That's not true. Tumors have their own blood supply. If you increase the blood supply in the human body, it doesn't cause the cancer to grow. So whoever told you that is not telling you the truth either. And remember something, my clinic has a lot of cancer patients coming here, but we don't treat cancer. We treat the patient. We train the patient. Because if the patient doesn't learn how to create the perfect day every day, then there'll be I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. Oh, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. The reality is I do not want people coming down here to do the cell sonic or do the thermography or do the non-surgical or to do anything unless we can treat them and train them. So when they go home, they know how to treat themselves with love and respect so they don't come back here. We need them to be able to go home and not get into this mess again. And remember something, the same mind that created the disease is going to be the mind that gets rid of it. So if you're not willing to change parts of your personality, you're not going to change the reality of this issue ever. Okay, and understand this. There's no emotional training. These cancer clinics that'll take $30,000 and $40,000, they don't even do hardly any emotional training. If I have somebody here that's got cancer, I want them in my whole life coach. I want them watching it, whether they're in their room or whether they're with us live in the auditorium. They need to take the whole life coach, which is 9 days. Let me tell you something. If you totally loved, honored, and respected yourself, this would not be happening. None of this would be happening. We've all been programmed to off ourselves. You know, by the time we're 50, we're falling apart, and they're done with us. So now you get to spend all the money you made on trying to recapture your health and go see all these so-called specialists. Isn't that great? Okay. All right, I'll take questions. Is there any questions?
You want to take questions on Zoom or Facebook?
I don't know. Would you like to give me one, and then I'll just play here for a second and see if I find something?
Okay.
But I'm ready with you when you're ready.
Sarah says, hi doctor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in
Yes.
the lung and spine. What do you recommend for me?
Well, first of all, I just want to say this, and hey, I'm allowed to say this. Okay, so just because everybody's doing something or thinks something doesn't make it right. Just because somebody's thinking something and you haven't heard it before doesn't make me wrong. So try to just see if you can leave yourself open and not allow your beliefs that have been shoved down your throat to block what I'm about to say. I don't believe the cancer mutates from body part to body part. I believe that the anxiety and the infection and the inflammation has never stopped. So that's why she has cancer in 3 different parts of her body. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, if one part's going to blow, another part's going to blow eventually, and another one's going to blow. So they can say what they want, that it's metastasizing, but that's just like when they told us that all disease is genetic, especially cancer, and then we felt we couldn't help ourselves, so we felt crippled. So I'm not going to believe in anything that's a crippled belief system because guess what? I believe that we were manipulated on the planet, but we weren't manipulated by our source creator. Okay? Now, so what is she asking?
She's asking, what do you recommend for the lung or the cancer in the lung?
Well, first of all, I would start doing the nebulizing like I just said. Nebulizing, well, first of all, I would tell her to get a perfect day consult. Wouldn't it be great if somebody walked through her day on all the different supplements she's taking, everything she's doing? What if we could minimize it? What if we could make it better? What if we could give her strategies too? Is the EMF left on all night while she's at home? How often is she on the computer? Does she wear Tesla eyewear when she's on the computer? Okay. Who does she live with? Does she live with an alcoholic? Does she live with a drug addict? Does she live with a family terrorist who doesn't love her anymore? Does she live with children that don't respect her? These are more important questions to ask. Does she live downtown in a large condo where there's 500 cell phones and a 5G tower sitting on top of her building? Where does she live? What type of water does she drink? How much water does she drink? How often does she poop? These are the things that matter the most. Does she poop 3 times a day? Does she know that when you have cancer, that cancer eats up amino acids? So that means that she's losing weight right now when the cancer is coming up in other places. That means she's one inflammatory bomb, which means that it's going to eat up her muscles. So she needs to do more amino acids. So she needs to get on SON formula. She needs to get on Amino Boost. And she needs to be a lot of it. Because if she doesn't, even if she turns the cancer around, she won't have any muscles left. All right. So does she do vaginal infusions? Does she do the ultimate coffee enema? Is she on the perfect day diet? Does she have any weight? If she's underweight, guys, can you keep it down? If she's underweight, all right, then we're going to have to watch it because we don't want to put her on something. Because understand something. Okay. When people hear that somebody has cancer, do they go, "Oh, you'll do fine. That's okay. You got this, girl"? No, they crap their drawers. Everybody's been taught to go into panic mode, anxiety mode, and then the patient, the family member gets to feel it. Don't tell me in the back of your mind everybody thinks they're going to die. Don't tell me that that's a really good thought to have, because that's the worst thing that could happen. If I had that type of thing going on, I would want to go to paradise. I'd want to go where the sun was shining, where the fruit and the water was fresh, be by the ocean to get my iodine, okay? Relax in a hammock, drink coconut water, and already just sit there visualizing the beauty of this world and me healing, okay? And it also wouldn't hurt to get some cell-sonic treatments, because cell-sonic is 25,000 volts. Do you get this? 25,000 volts, okay? And when it comes in as a love harmonic, and it can actually turn down the inflammation like that in sometimes one treatment, where we go back in with thermography and we can't find what people say would be the symptom of cancer. We do not cure cancer. We do not treat cancer. We treat inflammation. We treat infection, displaced calcium, scar tissue issue, and that is all of the things that make up every disease in a human person. So we want to get rid of the physical and emotional blocks in this person, because everything is about flow in the invisible and the physical. We want to make sure that if we can, and she has extra weight, we'll put her on the advanced water fast, and we'll do the vaginal infusions. We'll do the ultimate coffee enema. We'll do the cell-sonic. We'll do non-surgical gently to go in into her joints, those stiff joints, and open up the joints to open up the flow. We'll go into her abdomen and we'll loosen up the adhesions, and in her pelvis, and loosen up those adhesions, loosen up her hips. And then we'll go into her spine, and we would go in between the vertebrae and get rid of the scar tissue issue. She would find herself 1 inch taller. That's right. Any adult that comes to us and we do the spinal work, they're 1 inch taller to 2 inches taller. And the reason being is because the compression of the discs, you don't lose calcium, they become like beef jerky. So by opening those up, the spinal fluid moves better, things heal better. I mean, everybody wants a Band-Aid. Oh, here's what you do. You take this one thing and then call me in the morning. How has that worked? Until you know how to love, honor, and respect yourself from the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you're the terrorist. You created the dis-ease. You're out of alignment with loving yourself, and that's the end of the story. Everybody wants to come down here and they'll go, "I've got stage 3 cancer. I booked off for 10 days. Don't come. Don't come. Hold on. Don't come. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to take your money. If you want to come down here and you want to come to us for 6 weeks, you want to come to the lectures in the tent, you want to take some swims at the ocean, you want to take in the sunshine, you want to get on the most amazing juice that we make. It's the most amazing juicing. If you want to do an advanced water fast where we guide you, where you can be, loved, where we can get in there and remove the blocks, okay, that don't allow the circulation of the spirit, the lymph, or the blood. That's the reality. And if people don't want to come down here, then let us do a perfect day consult and get you comfortable and get you on the best products like C60, ionic calcium, get you on the infinite iodine, get you on the curcumin cayenne 5000, get you on the vitamin D, get you on the vitamin K, get you on the Sinonian minerals, get you on lots of SON formula, because your amino acids are being eat up, because your muscles are being eat up, because that's what cancer does. But did we get rid of the terrorist that lives in your head? Did we get rid of the terrorist that lives beside you in bed? Let me tell you something. Your husband and your wife or your partner is a terrorist if they believe cancer is a death sentence. And their fear is going to cause fear in you. False evidence appearing real. And that's the deal. And guess what? We've all been programmed. Forget the C thing that's going on. Forget that. What about the way we've been programmed? Even when the C thing leaves and they stop the V thing, we're still going to be sick because we're sick up here. We don't love ourselves. We don't really care for ourselves. It's most important that we have a new car, a bigger house. We fill that house. And that we go and we buy, undo all the stuff that the neighbors do and everybody else does. So the reality is that the real sickness is the beliefs that you have that you don't own, that you've been given. Oh, no, you haven't been given. You've been force-fed. They shoved it down your throat. And I don't really care. You know what? Because guess what? What are they going to do to me? What do you think? You're going to take all this away from me? You think, what are they going to do? Rip my tongue out? Seriously. I haven't said anything wrong about them. I've just said the way life really is. And the reality is all you had to do was love yourself. But it'll be the hardest thing to ever do because between religion, okay, and not deserving and not being good enough or beautiful enough or smart enough or just enough, you don't deserve it. So, you might think that I'm a ranter and a raver, but I could be on here and just talk about products all day long, okay? And then everybody would say, oh, all he wants to do is sell his products. Well, the only product you need to sell yourself is to stop the family curse and unconditionally love yourself, sweetheart, and have a slight smile on your face, and then do the Lionheart breathing and go, if I loved myself, what would I do right now? And then try to see if you can do this. Get yourself a hairband and go 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, that's the old me. 3, 2, 1, I love myself. 3, 2, 1, I'm going to hold the line with my husband. 3, 2, 1, I'm going to hold the line with my kids. 3, 2, 1, I'm nobody's slave. Okay, I'm nobody's servant. From now on, I'm going to take 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour at night where I go in and I stroke and I love and I skin brush and I clap and I do belly button therapy and I do my vaginal infusion. I do my ultimate coffee enema. I am going to tell my body that I love it, and I'm not going to tell it to shut up anymore. And understand something, just like when you tell somebody to shut up when you're married to them, it's called divorce. When you tell your body to shut up, you have a disease. So depending on how bad the disease is how much you've told yourself to shut up on an unconscious, subconscious state. Time to drink. And I'm in a really great mood, and I love you. And I swear to God, I love you. I love all of you. I want all the best for you. Too bad you don't want that for yourself. And too bad that if you were to do it, you'd feel selfish. Wow. They won. They won. They already won. Even if the masks go away. They've already won. Okay. What do we got, Dad?
I don't know how to say your name. Xfinity?
What?
As a question?
Who?
It's Evette.
Yvette.
Yvette.
Go ahead, Yvette.
Here, I'm asking her to unmute.
Hi, how you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing
Okay,
great.
question. Good to hear, as always. Question for you. How do you go about strengthening the pelvic floor post C-section so that I can actually confidently jump on the trampoline with my twin toddler?
1 second. Okay, you got 1 second. Okay, so I need you to talk slowly because believe it or not, you're talking fast, and I want you to know that you are my honored guest.
Thank you very much.
And I don't know why, but the program is having you repeat yourself 2 and 3 times. You're not doing it. So say a little bit, and then I can handle it because we can't fix it right now. So okay. So how do I get? Go ahead, love.
Okay, how do I go about strengthening the pelvic floor post?
Okay, 1 second. 1
C-section?
second. You can say like a little, like, how do I get about strengthening the pelvic floor and give it a little break because it's repeating itself. And your pelvic floor is weak because you had a C-section.
Post C-section, yes.
Listen to me. You're not going to like this. Where do you live?
Ontario, Canada.
Okay, so you need to go see. Where do you live in Ontario?
Bolton.
Bolton. Okay, you need to go see Tara Snell. Hold on here. Tara Snell. Or her partner. So, one second. Call Tara.
Which one? Calling now.
Nothing like getting to it.
Estimado usuario.
Okay, it's not going through. I'll give you her phone number. Okay?
Thank you.
647 272 4426. Now, after she works on the C-section and she works on your pelvic floor and you're just like so elated and you say that my pelvis feels like it's free and wants to fly away, come back on the show and let people know what one treatment does. Understand something. When you have that surgery that you had, it will grow roots that are 2 to 3 inches long, and now they're wrapping around your intestines and they're wrapping around your pelvic floor. They'll wrap into your ovaries, your pubic bone, your bladder. She's going to go in and untie them, and it takes 3 to 5 treatments, and you have your pelvis back. You will never have your pelvis back because you've got a scar tissue calcified block in there, and it doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't matter what you do. She's going to go in and use her elbow and pull apart beef jerky. The same beef jerky that you chewed on in your lifetime is in your pelvis. Now, how is that going to come apart? She's going to go in there, and within 3 to 5 treatments, you're going to be free of all of it. So now it's got all the circulation it needs. So now if you're actually doing the ultimate coffee enema, if you're doing the daily cleansing tea, the black gold, okay, if you're doing some clapping with yourself, if you're doing the pelvic squats, and if you get yourself a pelvic enhancer, it's over. It's over. You know what? You've got a brand new pelvis. And if you decide that you want to do the vaginal infusion, which you'll find in the Perfect Day Guide, then guess what? You'll have a brand new vagina. And that's the truth. Why don't you go in and recondition that little thing? Okay? I don't mean little thing. I didn't mean it like that. You know, but why don't you go in? It's tissue. It needs love. It's the holy grail of a woman. Your uterus and your ovaries are the essence. Go in and say hello. But yeah, get that work done. Okay?
Okay, perfect. And one other question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, post C-section, I had a preeclampsia and I ended up on a lot of different medicines, and my eyesight has never been the same.
You have to do me a favor. You have to stop talking every 5 words because it's all melting into one thing. Okay? It's not your fault, but this is where I told everyone that guess what? This is the year of what? Patience. We all have to be very patient this year. So I want you to say 5 words and then stop and just let the echoing do what it needs to do.
Whilst I was pregnant with twins,
Yes, good. Got it.
I had severe preeclampsia,
Got it.
ended up on a lot of medicines,
Yes, you would.
and my eyesight has never been the same.
Isn't that something, eh? Isn't that something? And you know what? The more blocks we get rid of, the better we'll be. You've got just get your pelvis opened up, get your abdomen opened up. She'll do the back, coccyx, and sacrum, and the SI joints as well. And then let her do this. Let her do the spine, and then guess what? Let her also do what we call the upper eyes, the occiput here. Okay. All right. And the other thing is a C60 brings eyes back. Do you know how many people don't wear glasses after a few weeks? I said a few weeks. And when you start wearing Teslas, when you're in front of blue light and you do C60 and you do C60 4 to 5 times a day, and you're putting in the fulvic eye drops, okay? And then clap your face and around your eyes and your head. I promise you, your eyesight's going to come back. You know that I wore prescription glasses before I started this. You know, I don't even have readers. Gad, do you ever see me trying to look at print and I can't read it? No.
You can see better than I can.
That's right. I can see better than Gad, and he's only 16 years old. Okay?
I need to get some Tesla glasses.
Yeah. So anyways, the deal is just keep working with me, Yvette, and I promise you, you'll have it all back. And then I may be wrong. Not maybe. I will be wrong sometimes, but I won't be wrong. We'll just have to readjust things because you're complicated.
Thank you.
Now, there's another lady, and her name is Magda, and she might be closer. Call Magda.
Which one? Calling now.
No, don't call her. Call Magda.
Calling Magda. Mobile.
Call Magda Course.
Which one? Calling now.
Okay. No, give me a second. Anyways, she's her partner. Just call Tara Snell, and then find out if Magda's closer or if Tara can do you. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And God bless.
Well, God bless you. And what I'm going to do, everybody, is I'm going to get a list of the people that are practicing in the non-surgical, and I'll have that list right here. So when people call, I'm not scurrying around trying to find somebody. Okay. All right.
Right.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Take care.
Right. You too. Anybody else?
There is no one else on Zoom.
Okay. I'm trying to do the same. The pain under my ears, that's getting really bad. Okay, well then you need to clap. You need to clap. You got to clap, okay? And I clap. Let me make sure I don't hit this wire or everything else I've got going on here. But I'll clap like this. And I clap that hard. If you were to clap your jawbone has more stem cell making than any other part of your body. And if you clap your jawbone, this here is called the FU point. And I'm not trying to be nasty, but it's the FU point. We all know that. That's where we hold our anger in the upper part of the body. The words that you don't want to speak, or if you do this, oh, you make me so mad. Okay, and then that gets caught up in here, or it's the words you can't speak get caught up in here. And then we get TMJ problems. Then we get hearing problems. And we get all kinds of also vagus nerve problems. Your vagus nerve is called the wandering nerve. It's long and it goes into every organ of the body because it causes your organs to go into relaxation or contraction. So like every time you have anxiety, whether it's real or not, you freeze up and your blood goes to your arms and legs even if you're not running. And that's how the best way is to kill yourself is to always be running from the paper tiger. Okay? But here, if you were to clap here, I just don't want to hit my earpiece. See how hard I clap? This does not bother me. When you first start, you'll be able to go like this, and you'll go, oh, 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 oh. And you'll be like that because we're all just so hurt emotionally, right? Okay? But after a while, you'll just do this. You don't become your pain. You sit back and you use pain as the GPS for healing. And then you clap here, and then you clap the back, you clap underneath your jaw, you clap your whole neck area. I clap every other day, an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, my neck, my face, my head. And then I'll do my heart and lung meridian about once a week, and that's about 40 minutes, okay? Go watch my clapping videos in my library, and just go in my library. It's all free, and it's probably the most powerful library you'll read, I think, or watch. Everything's done in video as well. besides the structured water unit, Cindy, do you recommend a water filter to rid chlorine and fluoride? Okay, so what we're doing is we're ordering here for the World Healing and Training Center. I'm ordering a back flush coconut system. So it's coconut charcoal, and I'll back flush it once a week, and then it runs through my structure unit. Okay, and then we'll give structure water to everybody. But just know this, that when you juice things like vegetable juice, it's structured by nature. All the juice you get from nature is already structured, whether it's in your vegetables or your fruit, okay? Rain is structured, and if it wasn't, everything would be dead by now because of little Billy, okay? All right? So let me see here. Dr. Daryl Wolf, somebody's giving me the, okay. If you want to come on Zoom, Zoom is 876-5344-9504. If you have any questions, feel free to come on. Okay. Sarah, what produced help with lung if you had been diagnosed with breast cancer? We did that. Hi, Dr. Wolf. My 90-year-old mom has congestive heart failure, was in the hospital 5 days. Whether you believe this or not, your mother has had a broken heart with her love relationship so often. That's why she has congestive heart failure. Did you ever notice that people can eat the same thing and have the same diet, but one dies from something and one doesn't? That's right. It's emotional issues in your tissues. The heart is the recorder of your love affairs. And yes, if your mother were to go on right now, curcumin cayenne 5000, if she were to go on vitamin D, if she were my mother, just if it was my mother, I'm not telling anybody what to do. If she had congestive heart failure, I'd put her on 5,000 IUs of vitamin D morning and night with a vitamin K. I'd put her on a curcumin cayenne every hour to get the blood going. I would also get her on ionic calcium, meridian. She'd be doing it every 3 hours, and we would pull her out of trouble very quickly. I try to get her to do the Cenonian minerals because our Cenonian minerals is the most powerful. One a day. There's 150 different nutrients in my Cenonian minerals. It took me 12 years to put this protocol together that I have in a supplement. You might want to check it out. Hospital for 5 days on meds for heart, blood pressure. Well, blood pressure, okay, let's try to put it this way. Okay, I got a hose. I step on the hose. There's only 1/3 now of the hose open, but the water pressure has to come up because the same amount of water volume needs to go through. That's called high blood pressure. High blood pressure is actually caused because of bowel problems first and foremost, just so you know that. But people don't believe that. Okay? And the next thing is, if it was my mother, I would do gentle non-surgical around her heart. She's got a fist around her heart, and that's scar tissue, displaced calcium, and it's to protect her heart. If you take a look at your mother when she lays down, you'll see that even if she's right-handed, above her, around her heart area, it'll be a half an inch to an inch higher than the right side, even though the right is probably the dominant side. And this is the scar tissue and the calcium. And if we could get in there and loosen that up, right away the heart would relax. If we could get her on the ionic calcium meridian, the heart would just be like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, in the nick of time. And if we could put the mag infusion in blender drinks made of organic berries and almond milk with some magnesium in there, it would help to relax her. If we could get her on the daily cleansing tea and get the cork out and get her drinking warm water and lots of it, okay, you would see a big difference, okay? On 5 meds for heart. Since she's been home last Sunday, she is lightheaded and drowsy. Any ideas on how I can help her? Please help. I would get a consultation. Does anybody know that we have our biggest sale on right now called the Sweetheart Sale? Everything is almost 20% off. And consultations are $105, and you get lifetime support, and you get a 300-page manual called The Perfect Day sent to you. Okay, a PDF of it. Okay, and we send you the audio of the 1-hour consult. So I don't know what people want. What do you want? What do you want? Well, first of all, you got to have a strategy. You can't use Band-Aids all the time. You're going to have to try to figure out the perfect day how to love yourself here. Sometime, somewhere, somehow. Chad, I received my structured water unit today. I'm excited to install it. My question is, do I need to install a water filter on the inlet of the structured water unit? I'm going to tell you the God's truth here. Dr. Gerald Pollack, he is like the godfather of water, and he will tell you, no, you do not need a filter. Even if there's chemicals in it, even if there's heavy metals in it, even if there's bacteria in it, they're not going to bother you. And I can testify to that. I'll drink water out of anywhere as long as it's not yellow or brown. And you can say I'm nuts. Well, that's okay. But the reality is I am nuts. So, but here's the deal. The same structured water that we're talking about is rainwater that comes down that has heavy metals and plastic and aluminum in it right now is coming down, and it's not harming the birds, bees, flowers, trees, or the bacteria. Why is that? Because structuring is all about frequency, and frequency, which is invisible, overrides the physical. Did you get that? So if you were to actually learn how to love, honor, respect yourself, and you can believe it, I don't really care if you do or you don't. It's up to you. But if you did that, you could have a bad diet and still heal. You know, not a great diet and still heal. You can have an organic diet and everything is pure. And if you don't love yourself unconditionally, you're still sick. Okay? And that's it. Isn't that something? Right? Well, we are electrical light energy beings. Okay? And did you ever notice how your emotions just will fill up your battery with energy or deplete it? Okay? So, you know, are sad people really energetic? Are happy people more energetic? Are happy people more healthy? Okay. Are angry people, okay, energetic? Well, they are for a few minutes until they totally destroy everything around them. Dr. Wolf, Olga, my mom is drinking your daily cleansing tea 2 times a day. Beautiful. Then she's feeling better already. And guess what? My tea is not a laxative. It's not a stimulant. You can do it for life. And it'll only get rid of 85% of all your aches, pains, and problems. And it is the best thing for weight problems because weight problems are waist problems. You've been backing up your waist, which means you're an infected little puppy. And that creates the inflammation. And so you need to create the fat to store the infection and the inflammation and the heavy metals because whenever you're inflamed, you can't get rid of heavy metals. So now you store them. Isn't that something? I drink borehole water. No mines. Close. More farmers. Small town. No farmers, maybe. Love to all. I guess that's good. I don't know about that. But if there's no farmers around, because there's a lot of chemicals that around farmers today, there's a lot of chemicals. So watch out for that, sweet. Hi, Dr. Wolf. My grandmother's hands are always numb. This is Angie. Is there anything she can do? She says it is only her hands and they do not feel like part of her body anymore. Well, Angie, where do you live? If I have a non-surgical therapist there, they will spend a half an hour on each of your mother's hands, and then I will guarantee your money back that your grandmother will go through the roof. She'll be able to move them. She'll feel circulation back. Your grandmother was a stress monkey, and she has crystallized her hands with calcium crystallization and scar tissue. So now we would call that neuropathy of the hands. Most people will have neuropathy in the lower part of their legs, which they can't sleep at night, which is very painful. And that's the same thing. Calcification, crystallization, and scar tissue formation has caused that, like every other disease and every other stiffness in the body, every other block in the body. Okay? If you go to my A to Z Wellness, go to Masterclass at Doc of Detox, click at the top of the page, and then click on A to Z Wellness Masterclass. Go watch that 2.5 hour video. Yeah, get ready to have a little shake up. And then go in and watch each different part of the body that you have trouble with, and I'll tell you what I would do if I was you. Okay? Deborah, love the iodide and iodine, has changed my life and my thyroid health. Thank you, Deborah. It's on sale right now, guys. Dale, I have Dr. Wolf's iodide, but I'm also afraid of making the transition. Doctors are out of their tree these days. Pills, tests, and more continuously. Well, just know that my iodide and my iodine is non-toxic, okay? So we have a protocol for cancer patients that they take 1.5 ounces of iodine every day. And if it's breast cancer patients, they spray, and they can even soak their breasts in this. So understand, there's no toxic value. And when they take 1.5 ounces a day, you have to call in, though. You have to call in. I have to approve it. And then you can buy our iodine at cost for cancer patients. Because if we didn't do that, we would break them financially. And the reality is we know that cancer patients need 1.5 ounces a day. So, and then they can also spray it on the area where the cancer is. And there's no toxicity to it. Isn't that something? Only iodine in the world with no toxicity. Go figure. Okay. Hi, Dr. Wolf. So your wisdom self-taught when you speak of self-love, unconditional love, just curious. Is it self-taught? Yeah. Yeah. Because I got to a certain place in my life, and this is the God's truth. Somebody very close to me tried to commit suicide. And they did it to try to set an atomic bomb off for my family. And everything went to HELL in my life. Like everything, like blew up. And I said, you know, because my father was a pastor, and he always used to say, we can have anything we want. But then he would say that I was a sinner, so I would really know I was kind of confused. But the reality is I said to myself, I want to be on this planet, but I can't be on this planet like this anymore. I put a hairband on my wrist. Do you know how long ago that was? Quarter century. Put a hairband on my wrist and I started snapping it. And I was snapping that thing like probably 30 times an hour. I'm not kidding. Because I had to keep my act together. All right? I had children, young children, and I had to be responsible. And I had to get my shit together. And I always talked about being a braveheart. And I wasn't going to let them down. So here's the deal. I snapped myself back to the present moment enough that I'm here for good. The majority of the population is in the present moment, 2 to 5%. That's why they're able to pull our pants down and do anything they want to us on an emotional, physical, sexual level. That'll never happen to me. I'll speak my truth. I'm not scared of anything. I know that my spirit is infinite. I know that which we call source energy loves me beyond love, has never judged me. I'm over that crap. So don't even try to sell it to me. So don't comment on my Facebook. Don't say anything on my Facebook because I'll delete you. Because I'm not putting up with sinner syndrome or how we don't deserve to be happy or healthy or abundant on all levels, because we do. And everybody has done their best with dysfunctional belief systems, and I'm out to tear the mother down. Every one of them. So, if it upsets you, find another platform. Deborah, I had a thyroid nodule 3 months ago. My doctor wanted me to do needle aspiration, taking iodide and iodine. The nodule gone from T3 and T4 numbers are great after recent blood work. Thank you, Dr. Wolf. You should be also putting because of the blue light, okay, you should be putting a silk scarf around your neck because your thyroid is only 1/2 inch below your skin here, and the blue light affects it, okay? The next thing is what was I going to say? You need to clap your neck here and all along the side and even the back, and just really clap all around that area. And then also I would take immunity essential oil and I'd rub it on my thyroid area, probably just a couple of drops every half hour. Okay, so I would do that, all right? And then keep taking the iodine and iodide, and it'll go away. It'll go away. All right? we can't cure anything. We can only help the body find alignment because we're out of alignment because of some reason, an emotional, physical, or something like that, state. What do I, Sherry or Shani, what do I take to protect self from flu jab? Well, just know this. Everybody's saying it. It's not me. Humic fulvic and C60 and iodine and vitamin D, okay, are the biggest things. They are. Did you know that C60 is now touted as number one for, because C60 is 250 times stronger than vitamin C. Hope everybody knows that. C60 will override brain damage. C60 will go into anywhere in part of the body, and it's the highest vibrating molecule you put into your body. The other thing is I would be putting super cinnamon in my drinking water if you loved it. And if you don't, put in lemon lift. If you don't like that, put in orange burst. But if you put essential oils in your drinking water, you're going to drink more water. If the water is hot, it gets rid of the virus, everyone. Did you know that our iodine will actually neutralize virus in 15 seconds? That's not me. That's an actual study. Are we done yet? Are we done? Are we over it? Okay, what is a virus? Did you look it up? A virus is a solvent. A virus isn't even alive. Wow. Oh my God, the virus is attacking me. No, you're attacking yourself. Okay? So there's 300 different solvents in the body. They're called viruses. Those solvents go into your cells, and what do? Well, here's the deal, guys. Bacteria, okay, can get rid of organic matter. Parasites can get rid of organic matter. Fungus can get rid of organic matter. But those three different parasites, the bad bacteria, the bad bacteria, they have a purpose. And they're only bad because you've been a bad girl or boy. And the worms, that's because you vibrate as low as a worm with the food you eat, the people you hang around, what you think. Whether you believe that or not, it's the truth. People that are always doing parasite cleanses really don't have a real great personality in what they're doing in their life. They really don't. I'm not trying to put them down. But, your environment dictates who's going to live there. Okay? All right, that's not me, but that's science. Okay? Now, what do viruses do? Well, they handle heavy metals, and they handle man-made carcinogens and chemicals. Did you hear me? Now, if bacteria eats that, or worms eat that you've created, which I'm not saying worms are great, but they're there, and fungus, they die. We don't want them to die because even though you may not like yeast when it turns to fungus and good bacteria when it goes to bad bacteria, and worms is only because you've turned yourself into a manure pile on an emotional, physical level. That's the only place I found worms anyways. So we need viruses, which are solvents that like soaps, to clean the cells. If we didn't, we'd be in big trouble. So when that gets dumped out of the cell, there's the virus. Oh my God, go get it. Go attack it. So understand, I'm not telling you not to believe in viruses. Go ahead. I'm not telling you not to get the V. Go ahead and get as many as you want. Be a pincushion. All right? But the reality is, all of this has been around since the beginning of time. And the reality is guess what? I don't get viruses. You get viruses when you have something to cleanse from your cells. But what if you didn't terrorize yourself on an emotional, physical level? What if you said what I drink is high vibrational? What if you said I'm only going to hang around with high vibrational people or speak high vibrational? What if you stop people from talking BS in front of you? Or you just excuse yourself and said, I got to go to the bathroom, and people are having their usual tantrum, or they just want to go on about terrorizing themselves in the world. What if you totally honored, loved, and protected and respected yourself on all levels? Well, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. And that's the deal. You will never, ever heal of this, no matter how much you like me. And if you don't like me, you're probably hoping, I hope he dies, gets sick. But you will never hear me having a disease because I'm in alignment with everything that I am. And that's called one love, one law, unconditional self-love. first and foremost? Why don't you lead the way? Why don't you become a brighter light? Okay. Connie, could you briefly discuss the dangers of painting fingernails and toenails and toxic polish remover? I'm not convinced. Well, guess what? Did you hear what you just said? Are you like actually telling me that you want me to try to convince you from not using toxic, dangerous paint and polish remover? You're going to have to come up with, okay, first of all, you're going to have to come up with something logical. So you're telling me to actually go and debate something that everybody knows. Well, you just said it was toxic. You just said it was dangerous, but you want me to convince you not to do it. Listen, it's not my fault if you can't love yourself enough to find non-toxic polish, okay, or to stop doing it. That's up to you, okay? Don't try to drag me into something. I mean, seriously, I didn't wake up yesterday that I'm going to argue with somebody about something that's dangerous. Okay, Jan, bad gut, bad health, 1,000% accurate, awesome, thank you. Kenneth, hi, Dr. Wolf. I'm 45 years old, spent 25 years as a roofer. Hell of a hard job. I got to tell you a story. Okay, you got to know this story. Me and my brother, right? Okay, I think I was around 16, 17. We got this roofing job, okay? I had to get my younger brother, a year younger than me, help me carry the roofing things, those tiles. Thank you. The shingles to the top of the roof. I couldn't get him up there. Then the guy comes up to me at lunch and goes, you know what? Maybe you're not cut out for this. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a hard job, man. That's a hard job. I did feel tired in the mornings. Also had restless legs. Well, that's because you're dehydrated and you're eating sandwiches that aren't good for you. You got to get some fruit into you. Got to get some salad. Why don't you try to do some beans or avocado? Why don't you try to do like some whole grains like wild rice or organic brown rice? Okay, why don't you make like a 2-quart container? And if you put some ice into it and make a blender drink of strawberries with sprouted protein, okay, and 2 raw eggs, and then put ice in it, and it'll stay cold. And you do 2 quarts of those, you'll be like this. Whoa! That'll be that. And that'll be that, okay? And the raw eggs, I promise you'll never get in trouble. Just as long as there's ice in there, keep them cold, you're going to be going, holy crap. And then what I want you to do is eat a half an avocado to 2 halves a day. And then maybe even get yourself some black bean soup or something like that. And then have some fruit. And you'll be like rocking the show. And then make sure that you're drinking. Okay, all right? So what you do is take a container up on the roof. Make sure that the roof's high enough. And then just keep peeing into the container. Get a big jug or something. So you don't have to go down off the roof all the time. You know, just hide it, you know. I know. But the thing is, if you're a roofer, you don't want to go to the bathroom. Just hide behind something. Hide behind something and then just fill up a big container jug. And if the jug is filled up almost by a gallon of your urine, then we know you drank at least 4 to 5 quarts of water. And now you're going to have 3 times the energy. So I'm not kidding. Take a jug up and see if you can fill it with your urine. Because if you have to run it up and down the ladder, you're not going to want to drink water. And then they're going to go, oh my gosh, you're taking time off. But if you don't hydrate when you're on that roof, and it's such hard work and you're outside, so just get it, okay? Love yourself enough to do that, okay? I'm going to tell you something. When I was younger, I used to go to Nova Scotia a lot and drive from Ontario straight through. Wow, crazy. And, you know, I would get a jug and I'd be driving down the road. And I would be, because I didn't want to stop because I would be going to see my family and whatever. The reality is that I don't care what people think, understand that. And then I would actually be driving and then I got pretty good at it. And then I would just do the same thing. Pee in the jug. Okay? All right? So the reality is I don't do that anymore. I love myself enough that I'm going to stop. I'm going to go to the washroom, go for the walk. But I understand if you're working for someone, they're just going to get on your back. If you pee once a day, that's okay. But oh my God, wouldn't want to have you peeing 3 or 4 times a day. That would be wrong. But you need to look after yourself. Figure it out. Okay? Okay. Okay, Shani says, let me hear your body talk. Body talk. Let me hear your body talk. You know that song, everybody. So just understand this. Olivia Newton-John, yeah, she sang that. And understand this. When you understand body talk, you don't have one symptom going on that's stupid. It's your body saying, I love you, sweetheart. What are you going to do about it? But what if you weren't trained? What if I told you, once you have a consultation, we'll send you a 300-page manual that will give you every symptom your body has, from the darkness under your eyes to the bags to the wrinkles to everything, what your poop should look like, your urine should look like, everything. Okay? That's the guide to keep you well and to keep you out of you-know-where. Shani, flu jab soon, what to take? Okay, well, I just said it. C60, the Black Diamond, Black Gold, Daily Cleansing Tea, Curcumin Cayenne 5000, lots of vitamin D. I'd be doing 50,000 IUs of vitamin D. If I had the V, I would do it 5 days prior, and then I would do it for at least a week after to really bring my immune system up. Because you may not know this, but people that get the V and get themselves in trouble within a few days, they're either sick with the flu already, or they're run down, or they're totally stressed out when they go to get it, and it knocks them down. That's why we all know that if you believe in the V for your children, if you take a child, when the child is sick and they get the V, it can be life-threatening. You think about that. All right. So don't go and get that unless you're on your game. Call in sick. Get your act together. Anna, how do I regrow my gallbladder, doctor? You don't regrow your gallbladder. It's just this. You change your diet. You get on a whole plant-based diet, and you can still do coffee enemas to help that liver. And you can also, sweetie, make sure your colon's clean. That's it. And stop eating all the foods that you know are wrong for you, and you'll be totally fine. If you got rid of your gallbladder, I hope you know that if you don't change your diet, just want you to know this, if you don't change your diet and the way you think, and you get rid of your gallbladder, you have a 400% increase in colorectal cancer. There you go. Tammy, my husband has a big lump on the top of his wrist, also one in the middle of his back, close to the spine. I bet it's a fatty tumor. The one, I think it's a fatty tumor. I'm just guessing. The one on his back seems to be growing slowly. Well, that's because he's not changing his diet. Why would it go away? He hasn't changed his personality. He hasn't changed the way he's eating. And if you looked at your husband's tummy, it's probably sticking out, and he doesn't poo very well, and he's more toxic than he was last year. So why would it stop growing? The same mind that created the disease isn't going to get rid of it. So unless he changes his personality and starts... And why don't you do a perfect day consult with them, and the both of you go on the perfect day diet, and then maybe even do some advanced water fasting, or at least get the cork out of his bum and get him on daily cleansing tea and Black Gold. Okay?
Yeah, he's right.
Somebody said he's right. Do we have somebody on there?
Yeah, there's someone there.
Okay. All right. Are these ganglion cysts, and how to treat? Well, I don't know. They could be fatty tumors, or they could be ganglion cysts. You can tell. They'll be like all wrapped up like scar tissue, but it doesn't really matter. I'd clap around it. I'd clap on it. I'd use DMSO gel with frankincense. And if you didn't want to buy our frankincense because you don't have the money, then I would buy our immunity, and I'd mix that with the DMSO gel, and I'd put it on there 3 to 4 times a day to go in there to bring the circulation back. But I would clap that sucker. I'd let it know who the boss is, but I would clean my colon and my liver, because it actually is coming from his liver. Thank you. It's just a weak point in his body. Are these ganglion cysts, and how do I treat? He also has a plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis is just the ligaments and tendons in his feet they are shortening because he's dehydrated. This guy is so dehydrated. He's so inflamed. And it's crystallization in the bottom of his foot. So it's giving him all kinds of pain. And it can also be displaced calcium. Oh, he's just got a perfect diet. And he has terrible bowel problems. He's been backing up his liver. Yeah, he must be fun to live with. Okay? Like lots of energy and just smiling all the time. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I would not live with someone unless they wanted to decide that they wanted to be healthy and have the best life.
Divorce him.
Okay, can you please block that person? So what I would do is just block that person. Do not let them on again. And what I would do is I would show my husband or my wife the way. I would start really holding the line about bringing toxic food in. Okay, I would really start holding the line and start doing a cleanse myself. Okay, once you start to bring your vibration up, your partner will want to do it too because they don't want to be left behind. We're not going to divorce anyone. We're not going to create disease. We're not going to believe, oh God, everybody. You know what? The reality is this. Start loving yourself and unconditionally love your family, but hold the line. That's the deal. And what may be a heel spur? That's calcium on the back of his heel. So we know that he could also be really heavily into drinking, okay? Or ice cream, don't know. But it's got to be acidic to pull all that calcium, to cause a calcium deposit on the back of his heel. And you can get rid of that. I would tell you to go see if you can find a Wolf non-surgical therapist. That's what I would be doing. I don't know where you live, but find one. I'm telling you, the reality is a lot of people aren't going to change. They're just not going to change. People run toxic beliefs that they're unworthy, and they'll run the same programs over and over again. Look at people will watch their families go and get chemo and radiation. They'll see them pass on. And then when they get the cancer, they'll do the same thing. It's like, you know what? You can't keep doing the same thing and think you're going to get a different result. Okay? All right. A matcher. Dr. Wolf, my question, I have a black spot moving in one eye. Can bright eyes help? Yes, it can. But if you are in front of a computer or you're on your phone a lot, you better have these. I wear these all the time throughout the whole day, except when I'm on a show, because then people go, oh, why is he wearing the glasses? Who does he think he is, a movie star? Nope, I don't. Okay. Rebecca, it fluctuates unless he is close to the mic. All right, well, they're saying that my volume's fluctuating. Is it high enough, Gad?
Do they want it louder?
Are you listening? Well, Gad, you should...
It is perfectly loud enough right now.
It's perfectly loud enough right now. Then it's her computer, maybe. Thanks, my friend. I've had David, I've had 22 treatments from one of your former students in Florida for crystallized calcified tissues in the upper leg. I don't have somebody in Florida that I would refer, so that person maybe hasn't went through my training properly. But let me read it. Leg due to an imbalance in one leg shorter. Well, okay. Came 2 years ago. Fitness, my 60s. I heard to say the other day it could take 30, 40 treatments. It's better, but can't run still or walk. Periods, long periods. What else? I don't know if you're going to a good therapist. I'm not telling you that every therapist that comes to me is a good therapist, okay, and that they know what they're doing. I know we know what we're doing, and I'll take responsibility for that. But right at this moment in time, I don't have somebody that is a master non-surgical therapist in Florida. Most of them have moved out of Florida, so I don't know who this person is. Juicing, Georgina, juicing is literally next level 5D I can recommend to anyone. Okay, great. Anna, where do I get amino acid? Well, the best amino acid is called SON formula. It's called SON formula. And second to that is called, let me see if I have it here. Yep, I do. Here it is. It's called Amino Boost. Okay? So Amino Boost is like a chocolate flavored one. And then the SON, it's a really great one. But nothing beats SON formula. In 30 years, There's never been a better formula. And understand something, everybody, just so you know. In Europe, when somebody has stage 3, 4 cancer and they're losing a lot of muscle, they'll put them on SON formula on heavy doses until they can resolve the cancer issue, because cancer and inflammation eats up your muscle. You know, people go, I'm losing weight. No, you're not. You're losing muscle. After the age of 50, you start losing muscle if you're inflamed or acidic, and if you're not exercising. Oh boy. Shani. Debbie Latovic also raised credit. I don't know what that's. Nope. Okay. I think we're done. Here's one. This will be the last one, guys. Helen Hoffer. My brother had a stroke 4 months ago. Okay, so a stroke is actually where there's a blood clot. And that blood clot can usually be caused, believe it or not, because of calcification in an artery. The artery cracks. Seriously. If we all know that cholesterol and calcium will build up in arteries because of the blood pH being too acidic, so we're pulling calcium from the bones. When the calcium, the metabolic calcium, gets caught in the artery, if the artery cracks, like a crack in the wall, it will cause a little cut in the artery. The blood clotting in an artery is so fast, and a blood clot is very sticky. Now, what if the blood clot doesn't stick to the crack, but actually gets caught up in the flow of the artery? Welcome heart attack or stroke. So the reality is, what we need to do, 48 years old, is this person needs to get on an advanced water fast with the ionic calcium, and we would see a complete turnaround. If this person has a stroke and continues to eat cooked food, dead food, animal products, and doesn't clean out, they may have paralysis in their face, or a problem walking or lifting their arm or talking for the rest of their life. And that's called a scar tissue issue. Did you get that? So we want to eliminate that. If they want to give me a call, they can, but I would suggest that they highly take this serious. Jody, I just started taking the SON formula, taking 6 a day. Anything else I should be doing? I don't know what else you're doing, Jody. But when I go swimming, when I go to do exercise, I take 20 minutes prior, because it gives me that boost and it helps to build muscle tone better. Okay, so I can tell you that much. Okay. David, my niece, I have very bad nerve damage in my feet. No, you don't. You got crystallization and displaced calcium. If you were here right now, I could take a half an hour, work on one foot, another half an hour on the other foot, and you'd go, oh my God, it's not nerve damage. All my feet feel fantastic. End of story. The non-surgical would reverse it, okay? It's crystallization and scar tissue. Diabetes, they say it is reversible, not reversible. My feet are numb, yet excruciating painful. Well, of course. And like walking on a Lego, it can be reversed. Get a non-surgical therapist. That's all I'm going to say. And also, once the non-surgical therapist does a treatment on them, you need to start clapping them. And then you need to get a shot glass and go in there in between the toes and underneath and start breaking things up. Don't tell me it can all be reversed. End of story. Medical doctors know nothing about health. End of story. So let's not go buying into this, okay? All right, they're into emergency care, and if you go long enough, you'll be one. Okay? Angie, so much dread and fear these days. Dr. Wolf, okay, I don't read it when people are giving me compliments because, but thank you so much for all the compliments that you do give me, okay? All right? I have this thing, right? The more power we wield, the more humble we need to be, okay? All right? Kat, started my cycle last few days of last water fast. It usually happens after the fast. Taking curcumin cayenne, still heavy, iron depleted. This was my 6th water fast. Well, the reality is if you were taking curcumin cayenne and you were taking like about, let's say 2 every hour. Okay, and if you have to take it with a little bit of food or a little bit of juice or something, do it. But guess what? The curcumin cayenne will stop the bleeding. Okay, all right? And you only bleed so much because of the toxicity. If you were to get some pelvic work done and lower abdominal work, you wouldn't have that bleeding. Okay, it's trying to remove something, get rid of something. David, hi, Dr. Wolf. Got my first cleansing tea. Will it store in the fridge in a jug, or does it need to be? Yes, it can be stored in a fridge. And it does not have to be an airtight container. And I would not leave the daily cleansing tea for more than a week to 10 days. 10 days is max, okay, because it's a food. All right? Okay? If you want it to last longer, you could sprinkle some black diamond in it because that will help it to alkaline it. I'm done, guys. I got a lot of work I got to do today. I want to try to get these studios finished, and tomorrow we've got the Braveheart women. I'm going to do an interview on them, and then these beautiful ladies. Whether you believe this or not, some of them started 2 years ago taking my courses, and some started a year ago. And wait till you see the power of these women. Wait till you see the consultations. Wait till you see the work they're doing, and know that you could become one of these women. You could become one of the men that are here as well. You could become one of the practitioners, and understand something. My practitioners are the best. They are. Because you know what? They're groundbreaking. They know how to get rid of a fibroid. They know how. They'll give you a money-back guarantee on anywhere they work on your body, first treatment. Okay, we guarantee our consultations, even though you're paying $105, and you'll get our 30-page manual called The Perfect Day, and you'll get lifetime support. And meanwhile, you know why? Why do we do this? Well, because guess what? You've been told that you have no value. So we're going to come out of the gate and charging hardly anything for this. And then eventually we're going to teach you that you have value. And then guess what? You'll become abundant on all levels. And that's the gift we give you, whether you believe it or not. It's a gift we want to give you, because whether you believe this or not, we are family, and we all came from the same source creator. That's it. That's all. So, we did, and that's it. So you can come down here and you can say you're a different color, a different race, or you have a different religion, or you speak a different language. No, you don't. The language is love, and it's called Unconditional Love for myself and for you. God bless. Thanks for joining. The sale's still on. It's even on our courses, and it's on our personal treatment and trainings. You might want to check that out. We've never done 10% off before. So when you come as a couple, whether it's two sisters, a mother, a daughter, or whatever, but if you're related and you do it together, we're going to give you 10% off of the personal treatment and trainings and off the courses. All right. And we've already taken $45 off the consultation, which is $150, which is cheaper than anybody else around the world. And we give you a money back guarantee. You know why? Because that's how powerful you are. God bless. And just remember this, Braveheart. 3, 2, 1. You've always had it. Now you're going to take it back. Take care. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world. and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul, and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the Whole Life Coach certification is all about. In the Whole Life Coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart, and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in, because
How I found my brave heart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned, and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
You're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited, because this is your life.
He's the first person, doctor, that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth. And not just half-truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams, and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call, or a Band-Aid, or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body, so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.